Lots to get to this morning, but let's start with the coronavirus. At least 16 states have now paused or reversed their plans to reopen. The latest is Arizona, where bars, gyms, and movie theaters are being closed for 30 days.
Meanwhile, Los Angeles is joining South Florida, closing county beaches over the 4th of July weekend.
We've also learned the World Health Organization will be sending a team to China next week to investigate the original source of the pandemic. We've got correspondents across the hot zones once again this morning. Let's get started with NBC's Sam Brock in Miami for us. Sam, good morning.
Savannah, Craig, good morning. Beach closures for the July 4th holiday stretching right now coast to coast from Miami, where I am, out to Los Angeles as leaders are trying to get out in front of a potential holiday spike. For businesses like these hotels behind me that stretch all the way up and down Ocean Drive that thrive on tourists, a stinging setback. But public leaders say that is far better than further inflaming a public health crisis.
In a matter of days, beaches on both sides of the country will be closed.
They don't have the right to tell people that you can or cannot go.
First South Florida and now Los Angeles, with the county putting the clamps on ocean access for the July 4th holiday weekend.
This year, we have to think about saving lives.
After recording its single biggest daily total, nearly 3,000 new cases, LA County overall now climbing past 100,000. The numbers not nearly as daunting as the reality for the Garay family.
My last words to my dad was, "Dad, I don't think I'm gonna make it." And I felt like maybe my dad was like, "Hey, son, if you're going, I'm going too."
Richard Garay, heartbroken after losing his father to COVID-19. 28 members of his family were diagnosed with the virus. Their patriarch, Vidal, dying the day before Father's Day.
The last thing that my dad saw was me suffocating. And I had no chance of telling my dad, "Hey, Dad, I'm okay."
Now governors in states strained from rising cases are trying to prevent future pain, including Arizona's head of state, who just pulled the plug on bars, gyms, and pools for a minimum of 30 days.
We can't be under any illusion that this virus is going to go away on its own. Our expectation is that next week our numbers will be worse.
26 states are already seeing a rise in cases, with 11 looking at a sharp jump of 100% or more over the last 14 days. That includes Florida, rocked by a 5-fold increase in daily cases in 2 weeks, prompting the holiday beach closures that caught hotels like the famed Ocean Drive Clevelander off guard.
Our hotel guests come to go to the beach. So now, most of our hotel guests have canceled their reservations.
And hotels like this one spend months planning their July 4th celebrations. In other news in Florida right now, Jacksonville just passed a mandatory requirement on masks in indoor spaces. That, guys, could potentially impact the Republican National Convention in August. Savannah, back to you.
All right, Sam Brock leading us off. Sam, thank you.
From Florida to Texas now, and the spike there where doctors are issuing a stark new warning to young people especially, as nearly 4,300 new cases of COVID-19 were reported there on Monday alone. NBC's Joe Fryer is in Houston for us once again this morning. Joe, good morning to you.
Craig, good morning. Texas once again shattered its record for hospitalizations. Nearly 6,000 patients statewide are now in hospital beds here, with fears that number will only grow in the coming weeks.
This morning, the coronavirus surge continues in Texas. Infections statewide now topping 150,000 with just over 2,400 deaths. Doctors are sounding the alarm as infections skyrocket.
We are definitely seeing this affect young people, and they're getting quite ill.
At Houston Methodist's 8 hospitals, about 60% of the COVID-19 patients are now under 50. On the front lines in Houston, Dr. Brad Lembeck is seeing a disturbing increase in young adults.
We've had a broad age group, even in our 20s, that end up in our intensive care unit on life support. The other thing that's concerning is those young individuals live with older people.
Texas bars remain closed and restaurants are limited to half capacity. For thousands of students hoping to return to UT Austin this fall, any in-person classes will be capped at 40%. Masks will be mandatory.
People that are denying the virus even being real is absolutely insane to me.
23-year-old law student Peyton Chesser is recovering from COVID. She says stopping the virus is everyone's responsibility.
Wearing masks, taking proper precautions. If you feel bad, don't go out. It's not all about one individual. It's about everyone.
36-year-old Veronica Medrano was hospitalized for 12 days.
It was pretty scary. I had never been hospitalized before.
Her parents and brother Jaden were also sick with COVID. They all recovered.
Even though I'm a 21-year-old, it still hit me pretty hard.
But Curtis and Betty Tarpley did not survive the virus. Together for 53 years, they died within an hour of each other, holding hands.
They walked themselves in the emergency room, and then that's it. You don't see them again.
Tim Tarpley's last words to his mother were sent by text.
Just said that, she was a great mom, but she's going to be a better angel.
Dr. Lemke told me if cases peak in July, even at the end of July, he thinks hospitals will be okay. But if cases continue to increase after July, that could be a bigger problem. Craig?
All right. Joe Fryer for us there in Houston. Joe, thank you.
My last words to my dad was, Dad, I don't think I'm going to make it. And I felt like maybe my dad was like, hey, son, if you're going, I'm going too.
Richard Garay, heartbroken after losing his father to COVID-19. 28 members of his family were diagnosed with the virus. Their patriarch, Vidal, dying the day before Father's Day.
The last thing that my dad saw was me suffocating.
People that are denying the virus even being real is absolutely insane to me.
23-year-old law student Peyton Chesser is recovering from COVID. She says stopping the virus is everyone's responsibility.
It was pretty scary. I had never been hospitalized before.
Her parents and brother Jaden were also sick with COVID. They all recovered. Curtis and Betty Tarpley did not survive the virus. Her parents and brother Jaden were also sick with COVID. They all recovered. Curtis and Betty Tarpley did not survive the virus.